Sorry, Mojo. I'm not sure. Is it Mojo? Am I pronouncing it correctly, or is it Mojo?
Just call it whatever you want. But the form is Ola.
Ola is perfect.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. Okay, I think I will just go with Ola. I think one point I also learned from Ola's presentation is the fact that you need to accept the fact that you are not a lawyer. Once you get out of law school, you're as good as a legal practitioner and as bad as a legal practitioner as someone who is 10 years post-score or someone who is 20 years post-score. So first thing you need to accept that fact and take on more responsibilities and be involved in what you're actually doing. I will be speaking more about legal research since so many of the participants raised questions relating to legal research. I think speaking about legal research specifically, you need to accept the fact that first of all, you can't know everything about the law. Fortunately for me, I was able to practice in my first 2 years in different areas of law. I did works in dispute resolution, works in capital markets, M&As and all that. Sometimes there are things you won't just know as at the beginning of your practice. You need to accept that fact and take steps to learn more in that regard. One thing most lawyers don't make best use of, which I noticed in my first year of practice because I also did it, was we tend to rule out the importance of Google in what we do. Most of the things we don't know, you can easily Google them, and surprisingly, you find articles, relevant articles, even beyond your jurisdiction, and that gives you a soft landing of reading about that area of law that you have a brief on. Just having to read some of those articles will tell you what the transaction is about, what the parties are actually watching out for. And then the next thing you must do after reading those articles is you must actually go and read the express provisions of the law. Because if you read just those articles, they might be misleading if you don't go into the law itself. So once you read those articles, you Google something, you read about it, go into the actual provision and make sure you're reading the current legal provisions in that regard. So the first thing, like I said, is Google. Two, go into the actual express provisions of the law. And the third thing you want to do is search out if there are relevant judicial cases in that regard, because that will also help you to know some of the principles on the transactions you are working on. So for instance, you like I said, I did a couple of works in capital markets. If you get an instruction in capital markets, someone may be trying to issue bonds. In those cases, precedents are also helpful as well. If you get to work in a law firm where these works have been done, you find out that there are persons who have worked on this transaction. Speak with those persons and try and get good precedent. What those precedent does is it also makes it easier for you to know where to start, what clauses to insert in some of these contracts you might be drafting in the course of the transaction. You can never go wrong with working with precedents. But mind you must ensure that the precedents you are working with, they are accurate, and you don't have to copy everything in the precedents word for word. You need to understand your client's instruction, what they are trying to do in that particular transaction, and know the right clauses to insert into the current contract or agreement you are drafting. So I think those are some of the things that will help you in ensuring that a particular transaction you are working on meets your client's interest and also gives you an understanding of what to do even at your early years of practice. You may not necessarily get it all in your first transaction, but having to do these things in your first transactions makes it easier for you that when you are doing the next transaction, you don't have to repeat some of these things, some of the mistakes you made during the first transaction. So that is one area I thought to speak about, knowing what to do, knowing how to conduct legal research. And as much as possible, if you're able to get access to Law Pavilion, I know the NBA have made it easier. Is it free now for young lawyers during their first few years to access Law Pavilion? Take advantage of it and read some of those cases in Law Pavilion. Law Pavilion is so easy now that you can even access it from anywhere. You don't have to go to to the physical library anymore and start looking for books. You can just search out the case you're looking out for, or the holding or the particular principle of law, and cases will pop up in that regard, and that allows you to read wide. Never forget the importance of reading wide in these transactions. You want to know what's happening. You want to know the current position of the law, because the worst thing you can do as the legal practitioner in your first few years is advising a client based on an old principle or an old law. So being accurate, knowing the express provisions of the law, knowing the judicial cases and the relevant principles in that regard, that will give you a good footing and ensure that you give your client the best advice. And personally, for me, something that helped me as well in my first few years of practice is joining the right law firm. Although some people think I'm not a good example in this regard, given the fact that within a short time I was actually involved in so many law firms. And for me, I felt that was an advantage. In my first 2 years of practice, I basically be part of the legal teams at 4 different law firms, all top law firms in their own rights in Nigeria. That helped me to know the kind of lawyer I want to be like, and who I want to accept as a mentor, and who I want to act like. So knowing the kind of law firm you want to join, knowing the kind of people you want to mingle with, and the ideas you want to sit with on the table in transactions, that will help to boost your career in your first 1 or 2 years in practice. Because the worst thing you can do is starting your practice with no confidence and being in the room with the wrong set of legal practitioners. Once you know in a particular field, this person is a highly regarded individual. Imagine sitting on the same table, on the same side of the table with such person, knowing what that person actually does in these transactions. You find out that even some of the lawyers that have practiced for 15 years, they also go back to do these things I've said. They also go back to read the provisions of the law, because you can never go wrong. So having those persons to keep a close eye on and knowing what they do, that will help you in your first 1 or 2 years, your first few years of legal practice. So that is something you should also watch out for. If you get the opportunity, join the right firm, a firm that will allow you to grow as well. I think one of the points that Glory mentioned in her slide is not getting work. You don't want to join a firm that gives you too much latitude, because there are no briefs. You want to be in the field. You want to be in the courtroom. You want to be in the transactions that matter. You want to advise the client and know what clients are actually watching out for when they are involved in this transaction. So as much as possible, you should try and be involved in this transaction and watch out for firms that will give you the opportunity to be involved in these transactions. And I know Glory mentioned the fact of financial benefits. Yes, it's good. Trust me. Something you want to consider in your first few years of practice is getting financial reward from your law practice. Although we must accept that law is not the best paying profession all over the world. It's not just in Nigeria, even in the US, Canada, UK, everywhere. Lawyers are not the highest earners, but of course they earn well. So you must ensure that you are getting good financial remuneration from the work you do, because you need to get that financial satisfaction as well. You don't want to be the lawyer that is advising a client on millions and billion naira worth of transaction, and you can't even afford to buy a dating soap. That will not give you the passion you need for law practice, and make you dedicated to the work you're doing. So you want to ensure that you're also getting the right financial reward even at your early years of practice. And I know the influence in these days can be high, even considering the impact of social media. You're seeing your friends who are not practicing or who are not in the legal profession. They are already riding high in their first few years post university. But surprisingly, sorry to break your heart, it doesn't actually work like that with law. Yes, you should earn good in your first few years, but you should not expect to be earning to be buying that house or buying that BMW in your first year of career. So you must have reasonable financial expectations. I'm not sure there's any law firm in Nigeria that pays their first year associates up to 500,000 or 600,000 or ₦1 million. Yes, there are other professions that you can earn this sum in your first year, but law is not that lucrative in Nigeria to be earning 1 million naira in your first year. So you need to set reasonable financial expectations in your first year of practice. But like I said, that doesn't mean that you want to accept a broke job or a job that can't meet your essential financial needs, even as a first year. So you need to have this right expectation in your first year. Know what to watch out for, like I said, in a law firm. When joining a law firm, know what to accept as your break-even point, and know what you can't just accept, and what cannot make you get to where you are going. And then, like something I also mentioned earlier, have the right mentors in the legal profession. Persons you can always call upon to give you advice on what you want to do. Maybe you are looking to join 2 law firms and you don't know which one is best suited for you. Speak to someone who you know has an idea in such aspect. Someone who has worked with such law firms. If you don't even have similar person, but speak with persons who can give you good advice, mentors that can actually help you learn the rope and make this easier for you. So I think I don't know how far I've gone with the time, but I think those are some of the points I want to raise and just share with us from my first few years of legal practice, especially as regards doing legal research. These are things that people in top law firms do. People in top law firms, they will still go and check Google, whether you like it or not. So accepting the fact that Google is helpful, checking the provisions of the law is helpful, reading the judicial cases, that is what every lawyer does. So that is something you can do at the beginning of your legal practice, and it will actually help you to structure that transactions properly, go to that court and put in your best and ensure that your client gets satisfaction on why they came to you in the first place. So I think those are my few points, just to add to what Ola said initially at the beginning of the webinar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Stanley. That was a nice one. Thank you. Key points that stood out for me, the fact that you need to be current and accurate in whatever advice you wish to give your clients. Yes, that is it. So we had the next guest speaker, the last but not the least. Yes, Samuel Oni. Let me quickly share his profile so you guys get to see who will be speaking with you next. Samuel Oni is a lawyer with experience across business advisory, real estate, social justice advocacy, and corporate and commercial law. Samuel has advised several startups in technology, logistics, healthcare, and real estate sector, among others. Samuel is an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators and a distinguished fellow of the Chartered Institute of Management Consultants. Samuel is passionate about mentoring others and have been involved. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, and I've been involved in grooming aspirants in the Nigerian bar. Through his initiative, he wrote the bar. So the floor is yours, Oni.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Sorry, I cannot show my video at this time because I'm not Stanley that is speaking from Canada.
No, wahala.
Thank you so much. So, yeah, I want to say that Stalin and Mojola has actually made it very easy for me. So I will not really have to go through all the, informative statement they made. So I'll just start by sharing my experience. I mean, after I was called to the bar, I had a lot of expectations, one of which is to serve in Lagos, join one of the big law firms, and start earning some good money for all the hard work I put in while in, university and law school. But fortunately, I saw myself in a small town, Oshobo, or a small state in Nigeria, which is Osun State, Oshobo. So I thought to myself, well, how can I make my life better? I was posted to Ministry of Justice. I asked some of my friends, they said, Ministry of Justice, that is a place where people will not take it seriously. They don't even do anything there. You go there, you waste your time, blah, blah, blah. So I went there, I begged them to reject me, but they said no. They are very hardworking here. So I have to face it. Yeah, so the question is, but the good thing is that I enjoyed my stay and I really enjoyed my very first year of practice. So while the Ministry of Justice, as I thought to myself, how do I make my life better? How do I, after service, come out strong and to be seen as an experienced lawyer? So I have to, devise a project known as the REAP project, where we representing indigent persons awaiting trial and also going to prisons to talk to inmates that are going to be released and also reuniting them with their family in a way to provide them with rehabilitation support. Yes, so the good thing is that because of the project, we went to several places and then we had the Vanguard publicity, we have the Post publicity, we have lots of publicity. So while serving, I was already having my name fly around like a celebrity lawyer. So how did I survive? How did I survive my early days of practice? First of all, I wanted to go to Lagos because I wanted to make good money. But the matter is that I did not get that while serving as a Shugo. So that's to say, finance was a bit of a problem. Professor Jegede of the Nigerian Law School, that's the former Director General, actually said that the cut to birth certificate is not a meat ticket. So, but the truth of the matter is, more often than not, we have expectations as lawyers. A lot of people want to see you as a lawyer. They expect that you have so much money to, throw around for them to be happy. But that's not the case. So how do you survive? First of all, you must understand that as a lawyer, you have being called to the Nigerian bar, you have the experience that is good enough. Yes, so you have to be satisfied with first of all, you have to be satisfied with your position as a lawyer. Well, I have the experience. You have to start the practice with sufficient confidence. So what does it do for you? It means that if you have confidence, you're able to make some extra money for yourself. So for me, the moment I was called to the bar, it's short, I was called to the bar on the 27th. I think on the 29th, I've already registered the company. Again, so I've already registered the company. How did I do it? I remember then I have to call one of our lecturers. And while I was a bit skeptical about the process, I remember some of the law school stuff. Then I said, let me try it. Even to the extent I over became, because you can register a company without being accredited, because you will be one of the directors. So since for the family stuff, automatically I became a director. I called one of our lecturers then at the school. How do I go about registering this stuff? He gave me don't try because you're not accredited, blah, blah, blah. Eventually I did it and I got some more. So that gave me, because of the sources, that gave me confidence to do other stuff, to do other business registration. So I started, doing a lot of, PhD stuff, which made I started getting some extra money as a lawyer at the Ministry of Justice, earning 5K as stipend from the government. So you see, these days it's very easy for you to get more money because we now have other platforms that you can even, while working for your current employer who is not paying you enough money, you can subscribe to those platforms and you get jobs from them. One of them is Upwork, right? So you can check it out, Upwork. You can register for Upwork. When you have a good profile, they accept you. There are a lot of international clients over there who are willing to give you a job, even as a first lawyer. You can help them proofread the agreement. You help them draft a simple agreement, a non-disclosure agreement. You get. I know now you begin to ask yourself, how do I know how to do all of these stuff as a first, as a new week? You see, the truth of the matter is that no one knows of the law, right? That's why they always say that God forbid the lawyer knows of the law. Even your seniors don't even know all of it. That's why they need the junior lawyers to be doing research for them. So one thing you must do is you always have a good day. So once you are given a task to do, never you say I don't know. Right? For example, if somebody meets you as a lawyer to say, okay, let me see who is there. Let's say okay, Justina, I want you to help me with this. Can you help me with this? And she feel like, I'm a lawyer. Sorry, I'm a newbie. I can't do it. the person will just lose confidence in you. So what you do is that you take the job, you can even subcontract it. You can say, okay, senior, you can meet your senior and say, okay, well, I want to do this stuff, and then I don't have the experience. Can we do it together? Even if you don't have a seat, to be honest, even if you don't have a seat, for example, someone your big uncle wants to buy a property in Maitama, Abuja, you don't have a seal. You don't have to say, no, I don't have a seal. Go and give it to my friend that lives in or so and so place. No, collect the job, charge your uncle for it, collect your 10%, meet your lawyer, your colleague who's a lawyer, your senior or whoever that has a seal, do the stuff with them, put your name underneath the stuff, your colleagues put his name, then he puts his seal, tick his name, sign the document, your name is there as the lawyer who prepared the document, and your uncle is happy. So next time he's ready to give you his house in Port Harcourt to do for him. But if you say no, what that simply means that you have shut the door and you're not getting, you may likely not get the brief from him again, because you have to now look for another opportunity to prove your worth. So as a young lawyer or as a lawyer, as a new week, first of all, you are qualified enough. Never see that you are inadequate. Seek for every avenue to show your worth, to show what you are made of, right? So even if you don't have the idea, meet your seniors. For example, you can meet your seniors to help you out with stuff. They will do it for you. Even there was a time one of the junior colleagues met me to help her with a partnership agreement, because I knew that she needed the money. I did it for her well, free, so and then so that she can earn some money from it. Sometimes you have some seniors who are willing to help you, even if it doesn't take them so much. For me, it doesn't take me so much to do agreement for people or what have you, because I already have templates, so you just want me to put in the the names and all of that. So have some seniors who are like that. Well, again, you can always share profit with them. So you can tell them, okay, senior, I have this brief and I want to share profit with you. So always make sure you are involved in the work too. Not that you give your senior to do and then you just take the back seat. Next time you keep giving him the brief. So but if you are fully involved, let's say prepare the document, share with you to proofread, what do one or two research on the job, you see that you're good. Next time you may not even need him. You just thank him for his mentorship and what have you. So that's take it to the other aspect, which is mentorship. Just like Sally said, it's very important. You have mentors. It may not really be official, but I mean, the good thing about this profession is that it's like a family profession. You can call any lawyer anytime to say, okay, please, I have a challenge. Can you help me? They are willing to help you. It's not, but if a client should call them, they are willing to, tear the pocket of the client to their biz. But for we lawyers, we are always willing to help. And you see, just like some of you say that, okay, nobody's willing to assist you in terms of guidance and everything. On the matter that nobody will sit you down as a lawyer or a new way to say, sorry, let me look for another person to use to say, Prince, you know what? This is how to draft what's it called? This is how to draft a service agreement. This is how to draft a service, a non-disclosure. This is how to draft it. No, what they just do that they throw it at you, draft a non-disclosure. All you need to do is to go online, ask your colleagues who have a draft, this and that. You get the drafts, you prepare the initial draft. So when they receive the initial draft, you just correct it. So don't be afraid when they ask you to do stuff like 10 times, because they keep pointing out the errors to say, this draft you did is not good enough, or they yell at you, how can you do this? This is totally incompetent. What law school did you attend? Or you went to a kind of law school. You went to the kind of law school. So, but let's say they try to say, okay, I was law school. You went to one restaurant and university, blah blah blah. But the thing is, try not to be carried away with all of those things. Just see it as a learning process. Then be ready to do the hard work. I know some of us already have this stereotype about senior lawyers or lawyers that, okay, they want to suffer you. Nobody's suffering you yet. That's the truth. So be ready to put in the hard work. Yes, so that's it. Then another point I'm going to, discuss on is the issue of, the issue of choosing where to practice. The truth of the matter is that sometimes we don't choose these things. We don't say, okay, for example, as a couple or what have you. For example, I wanted to be in Lagos so that I can be in these top law firms, so that I can earn good money and again be writing maybe when I'm reciting my profile or something, they put this law firm there and people are I'm happy, right? But then I did not get a chance to work with these big law firms as a newbie. So but I found myself in Oshogo. So what I thought to myself that there's need for me to make myself visible. If you don't have the opportunity to work with these big law firms, like I said before, you can start getting the experience by going to work, uploading your profile, source for work from external people, understand? Then you can do research. Understand? For example, let's say the new Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram shut down, blah blah. You can just do a legal research on. Sorry, can you see hear me?
Only we
Yeah.
can
Hello?
hear you perfectly well. You have like 2 minutes.
We can
So
hear
you can
you.
just do a research. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. So you can just do a research on, can do a research on none of this stuff, how it affects the local business owner, right? Or you can just do, a general legal stuff, right? That way you put yourself out there, publish it on Barrister NG, publish it on Nigerian Lawyers Blog, blah, blah, share it to your church WhatsApp group. Yes, share it to your church WhatsApp group. Once you share there, people will read it and circulate the law and you're happy. So, but the good thing about it is that when they read it, it creates an impression in their mind that this person is scholarly, this person knows what he or she is doing. And the good thing about it is that some of those big lawyers that you admire may even want to hire you because they say that, we need this person to help us keep, publish in our friends' website, blah, blah. Again, so these are just practical tips. I'm not going to tell you, out of those, any other thing, right? Apart from practical tips. I've used all of these methods to gain visibility. That is why whenever my friends reach out to me, Samuel, help me with so and so stuff, I don't tell them no because I know that I have the knowledge. I'm adequate. I'm again, except maybe it's something that I'm not interested in or something that, will take so much of my time, right? So the good thing is I have very rich network of friends. So even if I don't have the idea, I can easily reach out to one or two persons to say, okay, what's your opinion on this thing? And they tell me, they say, oh, fine. I want to tell my other friends. So they're happy. But the good thing is that I try to have firm idea of everything. So that way, again, like I said, I try to do stuff. So you can also advise startups. For example, in your church WhatsApp group, you can volunteer to say, okay, the youth forum, youth are the pillars of the what's it called, of the nation. Blah blah blah. Let's organize, a webinar on business and the rest. I'll volunteer to assist, 10 youths in the church to register their business. All they need to do is just to pay a discounted fee of 20K again. So that way, you see, you're earning more money for yourself as a young lawyer. And what does it take to register a business? And secondly, you're also putting yourself out there. Because the matter is that once you help them register their business, bro, when you have good deals, they call you. They say, oh, I know one Barrister Oluchi. Is it Oluchi or Oluchi? Sorry, I don't know. So they say I know one Barrister Oluchi. She can help with the stuffs. Again, so that's just the way out. I say how to survive. Again, how to survive low remuneration, how to survive lack of confidence. Like I said before, reach out to your seniors, even if you don't know them. You get how to survive lack of research. Like I said, God forbid that a lawyer knows all the law. So always have a network of friends who have the ideas. How to survive, once again, all the problems I have. Just name them. I'm sure I've covered everything. So in a nutshell, put yourself out there. Don't be intimidated. Nobody knows it all. You are not inadequate. You can do a research on any area of law, your best area. You can even do it on landlord and tenancy. Put it on your church WhatsApp group. Join clubs. The first time I came to Lagos, the good thing is that after my service here, I didn't even spend up to 2 months. I got a job in a law firm in VI. So that's to tell you that, and because of the fact that I gained visibility, Vanguard published some of my stories, some of the people were released from prison. Do pro bono. Yeah, do pro bono. That's another way. Volunteer. You get. Imagine, you as a recruiter, I'm coming with my good grade from school. I'm also coming with a Vanguard report of me, of my activities. It's just the release of somebody who has been in prison for months. I mean, as a recruiter, you quickly collect my CV and just call me to come and resume. Why? Because you know that I have what it takes to give your firm the visibility. When I was leaving one of my firms, they were practically asking me not to go. Why? Because whenever I join any organization, the next thing I ask myself, what extra can I bring here? To be honest, of course, I cannot give them, I cannot say I have the knowledge to give them extra knowledge of law, or I can look at, I know that I have stocks. So what I have to do was to bring in, for example, when my law firm during the COVID period, I have to ask them to go digital. Again, imagine asking, so just think of how the truth of the matter is that these lawyers need you, these senior lawyers need you to survive. So your law firm can be in Igboshire or it can be in Oshobo in a remote area. You can bring in innovations that can shoot it out. Now people will know that that's your small law firm in the Oshobo is now handling, big briefs, mergers and acquisition is now, by just mere article, published on firm's website, is down there. Now ask yourself, when you want to leave, will your principal now tell you that you're not doing well? They will ask you to sit and start negotiating with you. You are the boss here. You get? So you are the boss here. So that's what it does for you. Secondly, another thing is when you're even leaving to another firm or another place, you have a better ground to negotiate your salary. You get? Because now they already see you that, okay, this person coming from a place of experience, they go online to check, this one wrote a beautiful article. For example, during the pandemic, I wrote an article on COVID-19 and contracts. I know what that law gave me. Some of my church members came and said, asking me for legal opinions. I gave them, before I know, somebody brought in a big brief, somebody brought another thing, all of that. So, it's quite very, very, you get, the opportunities are endless. So I'm teaching you street knowledge now. I'm not teaching you, the books, right? I'm just teaching you how I survive. We all want to survive and earn good money. So I'm sure that after with all of this, as you grow, you make more money, you establish a big firm, you are there, you're not senior partner, senior, what have you, you can employ junior lawyers and pay them well as you want them to pay you. All right, and these are just, thank you so much.
Thank you so very much for being practical. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for the excellent delivery. I think the main point that stood out for me is never reject any brief. You might feel you don't know it, but when you have mentors that can help you, it will go a long way in enabling you to prove your worth, right? So that was an excellent delivery. Thank you so very much. For me, some of the practical things I did when I joined my law firm was I started reading all the case files. Of course, I was at loss as to what to do. I just started reading the case files that we're handling. I was reading everything. I love reading stories. So I started reading them. That way I got used to preparing legal processes, I went to the computer in our law firm. I was reading all the petitions, reading all the letters, so I would know how it's drafted. So that way, it was easier for me to learn when I'm told to prepare processes. It was easier for me because I'd laid the foundation for myself. And only spoke about volunteering. That's very important, especially when you're in a law firm where you're not assigned duties. You can volunteer to do things for them. Okay, what if I prepare this process? What if I do that? Fine. They might reject it, but you keep on writing. Maybe someone has prepared something better. You prepare your own and give him. See the one I prepared though. Any principal that sees you preparing process every day are preparing processes for him. There's no way he'll not give you duties to do. He'll surely assign you with duties, right? And I think Mojola talked about, yes, you learn from watching. That's very important. If you want to master courtroom procedures, you just have to watch. You can even jot. Like I had a practice book where I would jot. I was jotting like a secondary school girl. Anything I hear in court, I'll just be writing it. I was eager to learn, So when I see probably the way someone moves a motion, I'll jot it down. When I hear a lawyer argue with a particular rule, they raise an objection, and then there's a rule he actually uses to counter the objection. I write it down. I'll go back to the office and review it. I knew that next time it might help me. I think there was a time I was handling a pro bono matter. So I was almost getting to the stage of final written address. So I think I went to court a day before. I had the lawyer giving his oral submission. I think it was a magistrate court or customary court or so. I said, this could help me tomorrow. I jotted it down. So paying attention in count, jotting down is very important. It's very important, right? So these are tips that helped us. And I believe that when you apply it, when you stay at it, it's not a matter of you do it for 1 month and you stop. When you start it, you are consistent. Each day there's something you write, or each week there's something you write in your practice book. Before long, these are things that would help you when you have your own personal matter to do. You get? So being consistent will go a long way in helping you. We've said a lot of things and we're almost out of time. I don't know if you have any questions for the guest speakers. will be willing to entertain some questions. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
I can.
yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So, any question for the guest speakers? Okay. Okay. I guess no one has a question for us. The point is clear. At least only Stanley did a good job in clearing the legal research experts, you know.
I think some people have their hands up.
Okay, their
I
hands
can
raised
see
up. Yes, I just noticed.
Justina,
Yeah, that's
Cyril.
Yes, some people are raising their hands actually.
That's true. Thank you. So, Justina, yes, you can ask your question.
Okay, and before I ask my question, thank you so much. All the speakers, I am very impressed and I have learned a lot. And I'm even very excited to have had this opportunity to hear from you guys. And my question is quite simple though. I would just like to know when you're trying to carve a niche for yourself, are there some indicators that will help you to know that this is the particular area of law that you would like to major in, or how does it work exactly? And that's just one question, sorry. Then my second question is that I would like to know how to be a faster thinker on the spot, because that's really my major issue.
All right. Thank you so very much, Justina. You have two questions, right? Yes. Does any of the speaker have anything to say with regards to our question?
Yes, I think that I'd like to say that for the first question, how to know your niche is to start to study the things that interest you, the things that you get excited about, especially if you're just starting in your law firm or wherever you're working. Which of the tasks do they give to you that excites you the most? Is it drafting processes, or is it going to court litigation? Or is it witness prepping, or is it client counseling? Which one gets you excited the most? For instance, at my workplace, I have a colleague that each time we have a rape case, she always takes it very personal. So you already know that she's inclined towards that aspect of law. So you could look at things that interest you of all the areas of law that you are practicing. And the thing is, there's a saying I got from a book. The title of the book is Brook. So it said they asked the girl one day, because they will give her this, she will say she doesn't want, give her that. Then they asked, how would you know if you like caviar or not, if you never try it? So the thing is to try your answer at so many areas of law. There are some of us who already know what they want to do from start. And honestly, I stand those people. I know that I don't think I was one of those people from start that knew that, oh, I wanted to go into this area of law. So the important thing is, if you're somebody like that, who is confused or who is not sure, now let me know who's confused. You're not sure about the area of law you want to specialize in. It's important for the first 1, 2, 3 years, try your answer so many things as much as you can. When they bring a tenancy matter, do it. When they bring a land agreement, do it. When they bring a labor lawsuit, do it. Do everything. So with time, you begin to be able to separate the ones that you like, the ones that come easily to you, and the ones that take that appear more difficult or that you really don't have interest in. And with that, you're able to specialize. What can also help is for people who practice in very structured firms where they have practice groups. So if they put you in a practice group, they'll probably shuffle you initially before they make you permanent in a group. So if you find out that you love one practice group more than the other, you function better, I think it can also be an indicator for you as to where you want to niche. So I'll just answer that first question like that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Sorry, can I just?
Please.
Okay, Mr. Saleh, if you want to go,
Okay,
you can go ahead.
No, Sam, you can speak now.
Okay, Sam, you can go.
All right. Sorry. Yeah, to answer your question, right? The truth of the matter is that we have no figure. No one actually starts, um, you know, building a specialty without trying everything, right? I mean, this as a new, this is like your time to explore again. So, and one bad thing about exploring is that sometimes you might find yourself in a firm that they only do criminal education. Let's say, for example, when I was in the Shumbo, we were only doing criminal education for the government, blah blah. But the thing is, I have to I had some of my colleagues who gave me civil stuff to do for them, right? So like I have to do some civil disputes for them, like hold their brief and do their stuff for them. So that's it. Try to always explore that area. Sometimes you have to go out of the way to get this thing done. For example, like I said before, you can volunteer, right? You can volunteer for startups and get so you can even, I mean, so when you do volunteer for these startups and the rest, you ask plenty questions and the rest. So you're able to know what you really want. Because if you just stick to what your firm, the criteria of your firm, you may end up, just being a criminal lawyer without even knowing that you are not interested in that area.
All right. Thank you. We're almost running out of time, but Stanley, you can answer the question. You can go on.
Yeah, I think you've spoken on the first question already. So I might just speak on the second part, which is about being a fast thinker. Something I know helped me, especially when you get to work in different transactions, that any question can pop up. Imagine going into a transaction where you are advising a client on mergers and acquisition, and a question pops up about the tax aspect of the transaction. One thing that helps you in such cases is when you prepare before going into such meetings. Let's assume you are meeting with a client, you need to know, try as much as possible to know some of the issues that are involved in the transaction and what the law actually says in this topic. But then you must accept that, of course, you can't actually predict every issue that might arise when you are in such calls or when you are in such meetings. Something that always helps in such cases, assuming they ask a question that you're unable to think out the answer in that particular in that moment, one thing you should do is always tell your client that yes, that's something interesting, and you think is a substantial question that there's a provision of the law on it that you might just have to take time to check and get back to the client. Something that does is it helps the client to know that one, you understand the concern they are raising, and you will go back and research and get back to them. But don't just say you don't know, like okay, I don't know what the provision of the law is in this question, but assure them that you are going back to research and you will definitely get back to them. So that helps to put your client at risk, and it gives you points to even talk about even after that particular call or that particular meeting. And maybe after the meeting, you can always shoot an email to your client and say, okay, in respect of our meeting of so day or so time, this issue came up XYZ, and this is actually what the provision of the law is. That helps to ensure that you are giving your clients the right and correct advice, because the worst thing you want to do is trying to be smart while meeting with your client and reason fast and advise your client wrongly on a wrong provision. So once you are not sure of a legal provision, always tell your client that you would like to take time to get the correct position of the law, and you research on it and get back to them as quickly as you can. If possible, you should get back to them within 24 or 48 hours at most. But if it's going to take you longer, try to keep communication with the client so that you answer that particular aspect of the question. But don't try to prove too smart or being a fast thinker in the spot and advise your clients wrongly. Because like I said, some of these transactions might run into billions and billions of naira, and just a wrong advice from you might crash everything. So you want to be careful and accept that, like I said, try and read as much as possible to know some of the issues that have arisen in a similar transaction. Once there's a question you can't answer on the spot, inform your client that you might need to take time to research on that particular issue and get back to them on the correct and current position of the law. So there are two things you want to tell them. You want to tell them that is the correct position of the law, and you want to be sure of what the current position actually is at that particular time. So that gives your client a form of confidence in you that you are going to give them quality advice at the end of the day. So not everyone expects you to know everything at any particular time. No one does, not even the top lawyers in the field.
Exactly. Thank you so very much, Stanley. We are running out of time, really. Justin, I hope you got value from that, the responses they gave, right? Okay, Victor has a question. We have like 7 minutes more. Victor, please, over to you.
Okay, yeah, my question is straightforward. Like, you are fresh out of law school. The first job that kept knocking was a non-law firm job. Is there a betrayal of the brotherhood? How can one start off and still get back to law practice?
Okay. Did you guys hear his question?
Yes, I
So
did.
if I just, what do you mean by betrayal of the brotherhood? So that I will know like where the question is coming from.
Like, okay, like since everything we've been talking about is being circumscribed, like if you leave law school, the first place you have to find yourself is a law firm. So when someone doesn't find himself in a law firm, is it a betrayal of the legal brotherhood? That's what I mean.
All right. I think it depends on your area of interest. Now, what you really want to do. If you're interested in legal practice, getting yourself in a law firm is important, because I feel that's the only place you can get practical experience based on what you learned in law school. That's the only place you can marry what you learned in law school too.
Exactly.
Depends on your area of interest, basically. So if you just want to be a legal officer to any other, fine, no wahala. But you want to.
I think the question you need to ask yourself is, do you want to practice law or do you want to dump law? Of course, there are colleagues that have dumped law, but I think that this the purpose of the discussion is for those who actually want to practice law, how to find their feet. So if you are branching out, it's still good. It doesn't change the fact that you're already a lawyer, but you can branch out. But if you want to practice law, I think that's what we limited our conversations to.
Exactly. Thank you. Okay.
If I may just add to that, because the reason why I asked Victor to clarify what he means by betrayal of the brotherhood, I'm not sure there's any brotherhood in law in terms of career. Like, of course, there are brotherhood like having to share materials with your colleague and being in the same law firm and watching out for the best for the legal profession. But in terms of your career, I like to think our career is a personal choice. Everyone does not have to do the same thing or go the same trajectory in the course of their career. I think for my experience so far is just be successful in what you're doing. Even if you decide to go into corporate world, you go into in-house you become an in-house counsel, just be successful in what you're doing. Do your best and try and stand out as a voice in that field. And even those in law firm we want to associate with you because they want to get a brief from your company at the end of the day. And I'm not sure of course, there are traditional career paths for lawyers, but anyone with a law degree can get you to do basically anything you want to do. There are successful lawyers today who have not even gone in and out of gone into walk through the doors of a law firm. It depends on, I think the same thing Gloria and Ola said. It depends on what you want to do at the end of the day, on the long run, whether you want to work for a law firm or you want to maybe branch into entertainment. I think Faz is a popular example of a lawyer who is not doing law at the moment, but he's doing well in what he chose to do. So if you think first year, so if you think first year you get an opportunity in an industry or in a field that
I need to stop you now. We have 3 minutes and this meeting will soon the meeting will soon end, right? Like it will end soon. Yes. So guys,
yeah,
yes.
so that's just it. Thank you.
Thank you. So what Victor raised, this is a series. So subsequent series will be able to cover different career paths that you might explore. Law is broad, so it's a series, right? So any career path you might choose, subsequent series will cover it. So try to follow us and connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or any social media handle, because it's a series that will continue. If you want to learn more or you want to get access to subsequent series, connect with us on social media handles so you get to know what we have in store for you. And then there's some persons that talked about they want to learn emerging areas of law. Suspense series to cover that, right? Thank you guys for being here today. We're happy to have you all. Thank you very much. Happy to have you all. Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Stanley. Thank you, Mojola.
All right, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye. Bye.